we are still technically within this zone, right? So the reason why we anticipated volatility was because prices were at the range lows. So prices were around this area, which means that you could ideally expect the markets to start moving in a direction, which is volatility, right? As long as there's movement. So if it breaks down below this level, we were probably going to see a massive move down. This is the volatility right here. We got a bounce instead. So this was that volatile move to the upside. Now that we're near the range highs, it makes sense for us to consolidate right here for the next couple of days with the uncertainty of the ETF. These are my three assumptions that I'm making, right? Whereas at the highs, at the lows, we're most likely going to get a volatile move. Consolidation as the ETF decision gets released because people are generally unsure, right? A lot of the larger traders, a lot of the bigger players, investors, institutions, etc. in periods of uncertainty where they don't know exactly what's going to happen, they know something big is going to happen, but they don't know the nature of the event in the short term, they almost always hedge, take some profits, or have some type of strategy that's going to mitigate any downside losses for them. That's just how a bigger player thinks. They're thinking about how much they could lose. They're not really worried about making that $1 million or being financially free. They're already financially free. So what they care more about is losing that financial freedom, right? Losing that large sum of money. So a lot of times at these key decision areas, you're not going to have prices flying upwards. So it makes sense for consolidation to happen right here over the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm not sure if the ETF news is actually out yet or if it's official. I haven't really caught up with everything. And the 70-30 that it's likely to continue upwards is just me placing an arbitrary percentage on what I think the uptrend is most likely to do, which is continue. I think it's going to continue going up. It might consolidate, it might chop for a little bit, but generally speaking, I think we're ready for that next leg up. It's probably going to happen end of this month, early next month, right? So daily, we're still in this range. I do think that this is a great area to pick it up. Obviously, the best area would have been right at this microstructure, right? This is just your prior area of resistance turn support, right? So this is a good SR flip to buy, in my opinion, if you want to get exposure into Bitcoin. Your stop loss is obviously a close below whichever level that you pick, right? For me, that's going to be below this candle. The reason I'm using 66.2, 66.1 is because this was the breakout candle, right? That's why I place importance onto it. To each their own. Maybe you like this candle, maybe you like this candle, more power to you. I'm using the bottom of this breakout candle, right? Because if this is truly bullish, I don't want to see prices coming back under this gigantic breakout candle. I do like the long positions here. You shouldn't be shorting. You should not be shorting. I would be targeting upper bounds here as a take profit 1. TP2, I'm probably just going to do a whole number. So maybe like 80K. It might change depending on how price looks on the lower time frames. So for example, if I go into the hourly later, right? Or the 4 hour, pretend this is at 80K and it's starting to fall. I'd be like, okay, this would be my TP2. Why? Because it seems like momentum is starting to stall. I'm taking profit here. Could it continue going up? Absolutely it can, right? But again, you're not in the business of trying to catch every single dollar of every single move of every single asset. It's exhausting. You want to grab the meat of the move, and maybe not even the entire meat of the move, right? Maybe just the fucking center of the steak, right? Maybe you trim off the fat on the sides. If you are looking to buy ETH, on the 4 hour, you're looking for consolidation within this range, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw out this range. This is your range. So I would buy anything close to this area, right? So that's 3,600, I would buy. The reason for that is if this falls, dude, we're probably going to get the entry that we really want, right? Which is down here, this zone. That's probably where we're going to go, right? But we're assuming that, okay, ETF is very bullish. It's going to consolidate within this structure. So this is what we're working with. And people will literally fuck themselves up by not buying in this structure because they've deemed that it's too expensive, that prices have gone up so much. The ETH ETF is already out. Things are priced in and now it must go down. Why? Because they've arbitrarily thought that this price is too fucking high. It's gone up 26% in the last few days. And they sell themselves this theory that like, okay, I won't bid this zone because it's too expensive. Don't do that. Remember that you don't dictate the prices of this market. There's no such thing as too expensive, too cheap. We've seen coins that literally do nothing become worth more than mainstream media companies. Like we've seen literal meme coins hit billions in market cap. They offer zero utility, zero function, nothing. So it's very hard to assert your own denomination on what is important, what is valuable, what the price should be. We don't really have that much of a say on things like that. The more you can just look at things technically and kind of understand why the market is doing what it's doing, or at least try to, you're going to be in a better spot. So for me, I'm assuming that ETH ETF is bullish, right? Because there's a whole new group of people that are now going to buy ETH ETF. I would assume that it doesn't retrace this. Therefore, this area would be my line in the sand. This is my fucking major bids right here. If I ever get it, I might not get it, but if it comes down here, I'm fucking buying. 3.6 is your area. Alternatively, if it goes up, what you actually want to see is for prices to consolidate here. And when I say consolidate, you don't want to see this consolidation. You don't actually want to see this. This upwards consolidation is very difficult to trade. I actually like this, where it comes down and then it does like this kind of condensed one, right? Where yes, it's a bull flag, but you have to understand people are willing to buy it higher up and prices aren't getting rejected as hard. That's the psychology of the market that you're looking for. You're looking at these candles to kind of hint to you what the market is feeling towards this asset. This is not a bad area to start picking up some ETH. It's kind of tough when you're looking at ETH like this, because a lot of times when you see these scammy wicks like this, they do tend to trade back into it, right? It's kind of tough, but I would start bidding, yeah. So this is what I'm doing after the stream, okay? Let's do WIF. So you have this structure break right here where you have the lower high and then it collapses and makes a lower low. And then you just have this kind of weak consolidation thing going on, right? And where it goes, who knows? But the idea kind of remains that if it's at the range low, you're expecting volatility, right? You're expecting a move. Either it breaks this range and goes to the downside, which was what Don was talking about, where he said this looks like it's about to fall, or you can just buy the range low, aim for the long, and then get out right here, right? For me, I feel like WIF is a very obvious kind of trade in a sense where everyone's trying to get long on it. So I don't know if it's gonna do as well. This isn't a bad place to get entries. I would try to be more picky with this one and maybe aim for like 280, something like this. Wouldn't be too bad. I do think it sees above $3 again, which is only like 4% away, so it's not that bad. BONK looks good, man. What a crazy looking chart, man. Yeah, this is probably gonna keep going up. This doesn't look like something that's top to me. Let's do PEPE. I remember this being like a daily retest, and we said, all right, it either pumps here or it's fucking dead. And dude, that's a set. Why didn't I get in on this? We talked about how this was one of the only good looking shitcoin charts. It looked like a daily retest. You either bid here or it dies. I think that made for a great trade, and I didn't enter this, so I hope somebody did. But this chart looks good. 4 hour looks fucking impressive. Yeah, I have a feeling it's probably just gonna do this again, where it forms another higher low. So then your bids on the hourly would be 14.2, maybe 14.3, 14.4, you know, pick your poison. This is a good area to re-enter, because if it keeps going down, you're probably either gonna have to, well, you're gonna get stopped out right here, right? And then you probably have to re-enter 10% lower, probably like around this 13 area. So pick your poison, one of the stronger coins. Okay, ENA. Judging by the way this structure looks, too many sweeps above, I'm either gonna buy under 80 cents, so that's like a retest basically, or a little bit higher, or more consolidation this way. I need to see more work being done here. I feel like this is it's too soon to say the bottom is in, but I can see what you're saying, right? It could easily be that this was the bottom, and then we just kind of come back down, consolidate, do this shit, and then come up, right? And it's a much shorter accumulation time than what we're used to with the old coins, right? Where like you'd consolidate for almost fucking a year. This might just be 3 months, right? A 3-month structure right here. So we never know, but keep your eyes on it, which is me basically saying you're either gonna buy once it starts to break out right here, capture the meat of the move. Maybe this is the meat of the move, right? And you miss out on this and maybe this, because you don't take profit right here. You take profit here. So maybe you catch this. That's not bad. Like, yeah, you missed this and you missed this, and that sucks or whatever. But dude, you still caught 45%, right? Which is like a monstrous move, bro. A monstrous move. So yeah.